I mean, I'm a conspiracy theorist to a degree. Like, when I connect dots that maybe shouldn't be connected, I don't know. But certain dots, like when I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connecting them down like, wow, all these brothers got to wear a dress. This happened to me. I'm doing a movie with Martin.
Yeah.
The movie's going good. So I walk in the trailer. I'm like, man, this must be the wrong trailer because there's a dress in here. They come in. The writer comes in. I think he's the writer. He's like, Dave, listen, we got this hilarious scene where Martin's sneaking out of jail. So he disguises you as a prostitute. And he put this dress on. And, huh? What? A prostitute? Nah, I'm not doing that. I don't feel comfortable with that. That should have been in the discussion. What? You don't feel comfortable with it? I mean, it's a hilarious bit. All the greats have done it. So, well, if all the greats have done it, it's kind of hacky, right? You're a writer. So why don't we just not do it? Because I don't feel comfortable wearing a dress. Oh, come on, Dave, listen, we got it all set up. We're supposed to shoot. Every minute you waste costs this much money. You know, the pressure comes in. Huh. He said, I'm not wearing no dress, man. I'm funnier than a dress. Just give me something funny to say. I don't need to wear no dress to be funny. What am I, Milton Berle? You know, we're going like this. And then finally he's like, and he leaves. And then, like, the director comes, Dave, it really would be great if you wear the dress. What is wrong? What is this, Brokeback Mountain in here? So then, wear the dress. I don't want to wear the dress. I want to wear this dress. You know what I mean? This is, oh, gosh, this guy's so difficult. They leave. Now the producers comes, come on, David, would be so great. I mean, and then I started thinking about it. All the comics that I've seen, man, you know, strong brothers, why they be putting us in these dresses? But the minute it was clear, I was adamant, I'm not wearing a dress. I'm not wearing the dress. All right, fine. Think of something else. Guy comes back 10 minutes later, the whole new scene. Hot damn, how did you write the scene so fast? You know, it's like, so you gotta take a stand.
That's why if you look at arguments, like you saw Kevin Hart and Mike Epps going back and forth the other day. Mike Epps gave his opinion on Kevin Hart. Said Kevin Hart's overrated. That's his opinion. Nothing wrong with that. Kevin Hart strikes back with facts. Tells him, yo, until you start selling out arenas like me and doing the type of work I'm doing right now in these movies and shit, you're not on my level. Mike Epps strikes back with, hey, well, I didn't have to do what you had to do. You had to wear a dress and sell your soul. You know why? Because everybody's watching. And that's what gets people riled up.
Yeah.
That's what gets them riled up. Like, yeah, Kev, you did sell your soul. Because you got to think like this. When people don't like you, they ride with anything that's against you. So they try to take a moral standing. Kev's making all of this money, doing what he loves to do. And Mike Epps pulls the, you sold your soul
But
card.
that's some black shit.
It is.
The second somebody's doing better than you, and they're black, you just tell them they're a sellout.
Absolutely.
Oh, you working for the white man.
Absolutely.
Oh, the white man's making you dance.
Absolutely.
You tap dancing.
Absolutely.
And that's what happened in this situation. And we spoke about this on the phone or whatever. I just think it's bullshit. I don't understand what's so wrong about putting on a dress. And I guess in history, yeah, some black dude was put on a dress and some guy wanted to emasculate him. Okay, but everybody puts on a dress to be funny. Like, what's the big fucking deal?
White comedian Robin Williams won an Oscar as Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yep.
Okay? Freaking Jim Carrey used to play a freaking stud. I don't know what the fuck that
Martin.
She was on In Living Color.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that shit?
Yeah.
Martin fucking was Shanae. You gonna act like Shanae wasn't funny?
Shanae was hilarious.
Jamie
Martin was
Foxx
hilarious.
was Wanda. Wanda wasn't funny.
Jamie killed it. Tu Wong Fu, John Leguizamo, and what's the guy's name was in jail
Ving
for tax
Rhames.
evasion?
No, Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes.
Yeah.
Like, people
Talking about, but everybody focused on Wesley in the movie. Wesley
course.
wore a dress. John had on a goddamn dress too.
And then what?
He ain't black.
Exactly.
I don't know what the fuck John Leguizamo is.
He's Latino.
Exactly. You
Yeah.
didn't fuck with Grandmama?
Yeah, Grandmama was
You didn't
great.
like Grandmama.
Grandmama was
Larry
great.
Johnson, Charlotte Hornets. You didn't like Grandmama?
Grandmama was great.
When did fucking a man wearing a dress, whether he's acting or being funny, become a thing?
Well, here's the issue. This is what I think it is. It's funny whenever you see opposites. So, really masculine macho dude
Yeah.
dressed up as a girl, funny. Those are opposite things. Right? It's
Yeah,
very
yeah.
basic. It's just a
Okay.
comedic opposite. That's
Okay.
all it is.
That's why people like Grandmama. I get
That's
it.
why people, because it's hilarious. It's like, oh, that guy's a badass motherfucker. Larry Johnson was a badass motherfucker, and he's in a blouse. He's in a fucking house dress.
It works in that way, and it works when it's a really funny bit. Shanae was really funny.
Of course, but I'm saying if you just start at comedic opposites, like for example, I know when I'm on stage, it's funny when you see me in vulnerable situations. Like I have that joke about me doing skydiving, right? And it's funny when there's a guy strapped on my back and we're flying and there's all this turbulence and I'm just bouncing up and down on this guy's genitals, basically.
Yeah.
The audience laughs because they're like, oh, here's this guy who's kind of like, alpha macho guy, and all of a sudden he's a bottom and there's some dude's dick. Could be gay. But it's like there's some dick rubbing up his ass and now it's all of a sudden he's vulnerable, right?
Yes.
That's just funny.
It's too early in the podcast to be talking about dick shows.
We're going to get to our dick segment.
We're going to ease into the dick.
Okay. We're going to ease into it. We're going to ease into the dick.
This is my thing.
Just like you do when a dick is near an ass. You ease into it.
When I was younger, right, I used to watch the men on film on The Living Color. David Alan Grier, Damon Wayans, two guys pretending to be two homosexual movie critics.
Okay.
Never once did I look at that and thought it was gay. I just thought it was funny.
Yeah, it's just...
That's it. When I saw fucking Martin play Shanae, and remember when him and Kid she was trying to seduce Kid?
Yeah.
From Kid and Play?
Yeah.
I don't think it's too many comics that would do that now, because they'd fear that people are going to think I'm gay.
I would do
they're
it.
too insecure to do it.
In a second.
Like, it was just funny. I never looked at it and said, "Oh, Martin's gay."
But that's the thing. People put too much on this shit, and that's what I don't get. It's only for black dudes. Dave Chappelle said it in an interview with Oprah.
And everybody ran with it.
And everybody ran with it like his shit is gospel. And you know what the fucked up thing is? He wore a dress in Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He already wore the dress. So it's like, what are you complaining about? Just put on the dress. Not everybody's trying to hold you down. There's no meeting where listen, there's no meeting where white people come together and they go, hey, I got a good idea. Let's make black people look silly in dresses.
But no, people think that is. My homeboy.
That's what I'm saying. It's not real. Like, get this out of your fucking head that there's these meetings where white people conspire to emasculate black people by putting them in dresses. If we really wanted to emasculate black people, we'd stop the NFL. We'd stop the NBA. We'd stop the professional sports where you guys look like fucking superheroes.
And make multi-millions off it.
You know what I mean? Like, there's not this agenda. Do you know what I'm saying? If we really want to emasculate you, do you think that we would stop fucking rap music where you're just banging chicks all the fucking time?
Yes.
Like, hello, there's way more masculine things that black people do out there than one fucking actor wearing a goddamn
and
dress.
A comedian at that.
Don't do it.
Listen, it's kids out there that still think XXX is still alive.
Don't do it.
Okay?
Not worth it.
If Tekashi 6ix9ine,
Guys,
if Tekashi 6ix9ine beats this case, I'll suck his dick. You don't have to ask me.
Shit. Oh my God. This is creepy. Oh my God.
Miko, all jokes aside, would you suck his dick?
For what?
If he beats this case?
Fuck no. Fuck no.
Schultz, would you suck his dick if he beats this case?
That's going to be a no for me.
I'm sorry.
I'm just letting you know. For me to say something like that, let
you know he's not getting out.
No, I don't know how much time you're going to get.
Yo, what's happening, world? Name's Raheem Flowers. And, I was just reminiscing on a conversation that I had with Brother Kel. And we were just speaking about just the endeavors and ownership and the importance of it, especially when it comes to the black man, the melanated brother. And I learned something interesting because this is before my era, before my time, and Brother Kel Big Kel, he was telling me about how the owner of Black Planet, the site where, you know, primarily black people would hook up with one another. This is like before the tags and Facebooks and the Meet Me's and the Tenders and the whole 9 yards. Well, like I said, primarily for so-called black people, this site was for. And something interesting that he told me was that the man who discovered the site had Jewish lineage, and more specifically of a German Jewish family. His name was Omar Waskow. Oh man, when you see the man behind the curtains, man, it's just like the Wizard of Oz movie. It ain't that great, man. You see the man behind the curtain. And all jokes and references of films aside, it made me think about when I stated in one of my previous videos back in the summertime when I was talking about Ruben Spencer, who directed a lot of films. He was a Jewish man whose origin was in Ohio, like Gloria Steinem, who pretty much is the godmother of these feminazis, another Jew-ish woman. And, you know, how do these things coincide with one another and what I was initially doing with the collage? Well, for one, feminism is the primary factor to why you have all these dudes behaving in such an effeminate manner and why women are being deified to the magnitude where they're being praised heavily. In addition to that, you have to put in perspective how nobody respects those masculine principles, those tenets, those values of what it means to be masculine. I'm not talking about that hyper masculine bullshit that you see all these do-nothing thug-ass niggas portray all day, all long, just to impress another broad on some simp shit. I'm talking about people who actually understand the role of being a man, asserting that role, and instilling it in their seeds, into their son, and showing their daughters the value of a man and why and what it means to be a man and to respect that man and keep things in balance. You know, I think to myself, when I heard that Brilliant Idiot episodes with Charlamagne and Andrew Schultz a few years back about how they downplay the whole masculinity thing and them playing like they don't understand how Hollywood works. Lenny understands full well how Hollywood works, and even in films, I've even saw there was a trailer they had with, who's that dude who ain't funny? Will Ferrell, his unfunny ass. There was a trailer with Will Ferrell where he had to get on his knees, and then they just like immediately cut the clip. This is the type of shit that they consistently do in Hollywood. Charlamagne is indeed that dude in The Birth of a Nation. This dude don't got no problem selling his own people out by his own admission to the Jew Vlad. He ain't got no problem selling out because you can't sell out unless you buy in. Those are his words. These are the people who are at the forefront of media, that they want to put at the forefront of media. Boule, Sambro, Negroes like that dude. See, they want to make it to where the black man, either you are on some flamboyant, effeminate, homosexual bullshit, you're a simp who will downgrade himself and his worth, or, you know, you do the whole go along, get along, and you go by the standards that those cats in Hollywood do. The same people, those Satirian, worshiping, underground book of the dead ass reading motherfuckers do, or distorting Book of the Dead reading ass motherfuckers do, rather. You have to go by their standards, and if you don't go by their standards, they're gonna make your job a hell of a lot harder. Which is why it is important for the black man to redefine the standards of living, because these standards of living right now is way too fucked up. It's way too demented, and it is quote unquote dark energy that is being emitted by these same individuals who've been in power for far too long. And I ain't talking about, and I'm not even alluding to the whole so-called hoax and myth known as white supremacy. I'm talking about something that's much more deep-rooted. I'm talking about the same ancient Romans who worship their god, Saturn, the one with the scythe. The same ones who worship Ishtar. The same ones who would even worship the people of the first two initials of my name, Ra. The same people who expect you to do something that is weird. Like, I even remember watching a Key and Peele clip where they were making fun of Family Matters, right? And they were talking about making Steve the man of the show. And even with that clip with Chappelle about how they wanted him to play and go with a certain script to effeminize him. Unfortunately, this is something that goes on in Hollywood consistently. You see how dudes like Orlando Brown acts out and he goes in on these motherfuckers. You see how he was talking about how Diddy and Trey Songz and people in the industry are all on that fugazi, homosexual / pansexual, gender fluidity stuff. And this is the man who's been in Disney since he was a kid, even during the Proud Family days, the That's So Raven days. You see all these chaotic, nefarious / wicked individuals perpetuating that role, rationalizing that shit. I understand when I hear the word chaos, I understand that there's context to that word, because chaos means destruction. It's synonymous with destruction. And I understand that being destructive isn't always a quote unquote evil bad thing. But unfortunately, it's the imposing aspect of it that does make it what we call wicked and evil. They want you to either play the game or they put you in a pit or a hole. That's why I stated earlier, it's important for us, especially as black men, melanated beings, us as so-called black men, to redefine shit. Because when we move, the world moves. It's just the truth of the matter. We have influenced the world in so many ways. This is why I was speaking about in my video about shouting out Aaron McGruder when he made the Boondocks. Unfortunately, with Aaron McGruder, I guess he didn't care about creative control, because if he did, that season 4 would have never been released to the public. I love Aaron McGruder. Been reading his stuff since the Boondocks, A Right to Be Hostile. You know, I was starting to read Public Enemy #2 as a kid. I've always loved him, and I was always wondering why Michael Caesar was never in the series. Like, that's how I always seen it. And time after time after time again, us as black men, we do not get encouraged. Not even by the majority of our sisters, black women. We don't even get encouraged by nobody to search for an endeavor while we go through these ordeals, because guess what? Especially the darker the skin tone you are, the more you're gonna have to deal with the odds. See, that's the fortunate part about me. I'm not as melanated as somebody like Michael B. Jordan or somebody like Morris Chestnut. I'm not, so, you know, I don't have to deal with that back end as much, but still, you know, even when you're a lighter melanated brother like myself, people tend to question your masculinity and your manhood and, you know, the sensitivity and all that other stuff, which, hey, I mean, you just gotta do what you gotta do as a man. But anyways, as a melanated brother, as a so-called black man, you have the world inherently against you. And this is not me talking on no victimology bullshit and the system of white supremacy on some Tariq Nasheed, but then again, this is the same dude who's continuously had the Crispy Puppet series talking about dudes like Tommy Sotomayor. I mean, I don't mess with none of these dudes on YouTube because all these motherfuckers are agents trying to get a buck out of you. Whether it's Boyce Watkins, who got caught up with the Chinaman, whether it's Umar Johnson and the whole school not being implemented and released, and hooking up with broads in hotels, whether it's Synthetic G getting caught up and having affairs with white people and white men especially, and justifying wearing weave. All these motherfuckers are agents. Whether it's Crystal and Karazine, whether it's Chrissy, all of them want to make this fake ass so-called black union and these gender warfares, but they don't do nothing. All they all do is show you that black people are a joke, and especially us as black men, because we haven't set those standards, because we haven't been in a position of power. Having money don't mean shit. Tariq Nasheed got money. He got money off of doing things off of MTV. He got money off of doing things off the Art of Macking. He got money off of doing things off the Hidden Color series and that Haitian documentary he made. But does he have any real power? No. Guess why? Because he's the Jew. He's the Jewish people's little bitch. He's their Shabbos Goy. He's the clown for the Yids. That's what he is. Like I stated earlier, Simp Watkins is the Chinaman's bitch, and he's a top-notch simp who masquerades as an economist. Suburban Whiny Pete. This dude loves to talk about magical thinking, and he talks about how white supremacy is all fucked up and messing everything up for black people. And I remember when he was making a video about something in TED Talks, he made a condescending little slick ass remark about people who speak about the Jews. Well, guess what, motherfucker? How many so-called Caucasian people can you name in power? And how many Jewish people? And then you have to think about what brothers like Khalid Muhammad understood. Even finicky motherfuckers like Louis Farrakhan understood that Jewish people and white people, there's something distinctive. It's like they're the same, but they're also different entities at the same time. Why do you think they got kicked out of Europe? All for centuries upon centuries. Why do you think Jewish people don't even claim to be white? I mean, that's my take on it. It's like they're the same, but they're different at the same token. Because they don't accept white people and they use white people as a pawn. And white people allow themselves to be used as a pawn, and now they're paying the price. White people haven't truly been in any form of actual power probably since World War I. See, us as black men, we can't be distracted by the fuck shit that these double agent ass pseudo neo pro black niggas talk. Them same white supremacy talking points. Jason the Black Authority, him, fucking Polite and his hustling ways, Sarnetta. I don't trust none of these dudes who talk that white supremacy, MGTOW, and gender warfare bullshit talking points. Now, I understand that it is important to address certain matters and dynamics that lie within those sickening, toxic mentalities. But at the end of the day, the most important thing for us as black men to do is get on our business and support each other. That doesn't mean that you have to just completely dismiss the woman, because the woman is very essential. Very essential. But that's when she's in her right mind. That's when she's in a elucidated state and she can get past her own ego and doesn't get caught up in that narcissism of doing all that idol worshiping. You know? So that's my overall take on that. But you see, we need to start looking into things and entities out there that did screw over black people and things that have a correlation. And like, if you're so concerned about white supremacy and you're so concerned, and want to look down the rabbit hole of that, why don't you ever look up things like people like Albert Pike, who was the precursor of what you know as the Ku Klux Klan. And why don't you speak more about Walt Disney and his ties to the Knights of Templar and all that sorcery that he adds in his films, making it blatantly obvious in things like Aladdin and like Alice in Wonderland or Peter Pan. Just saying. Making it so, it's not even like it's subtle, it's very blatant. These are things that we need to touch on. I don't care about what this, you shouldn't be so heavily invested in what this black man said about this black woman, vice versa. Does it have any context, and would it actually better the situation just by venting about it? That's why I fell back off of doing that shit. All that stuff I used to do back in 2016, nah, you notice that I curtailed that. Even when I was in 2016, I still knew how to say something substantial. I'm not gonna back away. I'm not gonna apologize for anything I said, because I knew, even subconsciously, I knew that what I said still had something of substance. I knew that it wasn't just saying shit just to say it. And it needed to be said, and it's not said enough in the world that we live in. There's only a few brothers out here who actually talk about the real issues. Like, and going back to Black Planet. See, the Black Planet is a precursor of the Backpage.com, where you see all these thoughts. It's the precursors of the World Star Hip Hops and just people being. This is when black people started to really get engaged and enveloped in social media. When World Star started taking off. World Star was released in 2005. World Star didn't really start taking off until, like, let's keep it real, 2010, 2011. That's when World Star, by that fat fuck Q, started to take off. And then, you know, there was a marketing salesman who got heavily invested in World Star by the name of John Weinberg. He could call the shots on how things are going to be promoted, how they're going to implement content and all that stuff, and the overall decisions, the important decisions on that website. John Weinberg, look him up. Omar Moscow, just like I told you, he has German Jewish lineage. Well, who else has a German Jewish lineage that we know that has a heavy effect on the world? Karl Marx. See how everything just comes full circle? But you know, by Suburban Whiny Pete's admission, there's something called magical thinking. That's why you can't get caught up in that, because all that's just a bullshit distraction. You have all these people who have those black atheistic standpoints, talking points. I'm tweaking. But it's like, y'all, you think, like, because like this is the bullshit logical fallacy of a lot of these black atheists. Because if you believe in the Creator, you believe in the Most High, they automatically think that you have this magical thinking, just like that nigga Sarge does. They automatically think that you have this magical thinking, and you're not looking at things from a higher perspective. You're not delving deep into the research. You're not doing any critical analysis, no critical thinking about what's going on in the world. They don't look at the etymology behind things, you know? Because that's what you really got to look at. I was even thinking about the term incubus, and I think about niggas who are juggalos and dudes who take pride in being side dudes for chicks, just like a side chick would be a succubus. But for dudes who take pride in being side dudes for chicks, and this role reversal and the whole idea of an incubus and an incubator. You know, like when you store an egg, and then, you know, the fertilizing eggs in the woman and the whole process of birth, that's what shit like that derives from. Like, people don't even want to break down things and look at it from that perspective, but instead, you just get so caught up and think that everything is just about being on some spook man, wizard in the sky, rocking a chair, looking at humans and thinking, what's the next move and how should I smite these humans? That's how niggas like him think. SWP. I don't need to be all subliminal. But anyways, if these dudes, see, this is how you know when somebody really is concerned about the overall plight of the so-called black community, and especially the so-called black man and black woman. You always have to go to the man first. Look, you have to look at the man as the overall building, while the woman is like the supporting beam. The man is the building. Hell, the man is the architecture. He's all that. And the woman is the building. So that's why I think it's lame that for any dude to sit here and blame black women for everything, and black women is coming at black men and saying that we ain't shit. Nah. It gets to a point where the solution is right in your face, but niggas get so caught up in bullshit ego that they don't want to work with one another. You know? And it shows you how effeminate these dudes are. And when I even look at it, this is a term that I've coined and used for a while. I'm not going to say I made it, but this is a term that I've said for a while. Since 2016, I use a term called hypermasculine. You got a lot of cats like that. You got a lot of these rappers like that. Look at NBA Youngboy. Look at Boonk. No, my fault. Not Boonk. That dude who was in a wedding dress, but he had like a big ass. I don't know if it was an AK-47, but he had a big ass rifle of some sort. These are the dudes who are constantly promoted. See, this is just like I stated earlier. As a black man, either you gotta be flamboyant, be on that effeminate shit, or you have to downgrade your worth into reducing yourself into a simp, into a yes man, into a yes sir, Mr. Boss Man, Sambo cooning ass nigga. Either you have to reduce yourself to that, or if you don't do those things, be a feminine, flamboyant, homosexual, Sambo, simp, yes man. If you don't, then they're gonna look. And this doesn't just go for the so-called black man. This goes for the men all across the board, period. It starts with us, though. It really does. We have a strong influence on this world. A lot of people know that. Well, a lot of people who know about history know that. I mean, for real. That's why you have, in Dragon Ball Z, they have something called Kamehameha. Just like there was a melanated brother by that name in Hawaii. This is an aboriginal indigenous black brother from Hawaii. And they said this in Dragon Ball Z. Was that not Goku's signature move? They understood this. What did Frieza do? Frieza was like a colonist. Frieza would constantly call Goku, Vegeta, and the rest of the Saiyans monkeys. And then I even think about a warrior whose name was dangerously close to a detective in an anime called Yu Yu Hakusho. His name is Yusuke Urameshi. And then there's a black samurai. His name is Yasuke, like Yusuke. And then also a fusion of Sasuke Uchiha, which is also like another name in Japanese for warrior or a samurai of some sort. But yeah, they know what they're doing when they do this. Even in One Piece, the antagonist, his name is Marshall D. Teach, Blackbeard, just like the pirate. And you know they had melanated pirates during those days. And even if you know about a book known as Little Sambo, in Little Sambo, it was a melanated Indian boy who had a tiger following him around. And what do we know about a tiger following him around? Even though that was just his imaginary friend, Calvin and Hobbes. So they know what the fuck they're doing. It's the better question is, do you know about yourself? Because once you know about yourself, and once you have a culture, which is ultimately by the standards of a man. This is why a woman always wants to know what you want. What are like? She always asks the man, "What are we gonna do? What do you want to do tonight?" Primarily, in most scenarios, that's the case. A woman will ask you about your opinion. What do you want? Like, what is it, the activity that you guys are trying to get involved in? Like, even subconsciously, young women, young girls know this. My girl knows this, you know? In most scenarios, you know? So that's what I gotta say about that. So, that being stated, that's my 2 cents. Don't reduce yourself to no fuckery, and don't remove yourself from dignity just for short-term success. Like a lot of these dudes in Hollywood, in the music industry, or any other sick-ass industry that venerates these wicked gods on the low. These underworld gods on the low. But that's what I gotta say for now. Peace.